So, I think it's safe to say that all of y'all out here on the internet know what K-pop Demon Hunters is. I would understand if you've been living under a rock, but even then, rock dwellers would probably know what this is. This movie has been making the rounds and is by far one of Netflix's most successful films yet. It's taken the world by storm, and it's only been out for 2 months and some change. And there was even a recent sing-along theatrical release that was for 1 weekend only. By the time of this video posting, I think it'll have already been a week since that release happened, and it made bank. It made $20 million at the box office. And many articles have pointed it out, and I firmly agree. Netflix has found their Frozen with K-pop Demon Hunters. Greetings and salutations, everyone. GamingOtakuGeek here. And I had been meaning to make a video regarding this movie for a bit now, but I've been busy with life, work, cons, hobbies, all of that noise. And so, now that I have time, I was finally able to get around to making this. So, let's get down into the nitty-gritty. So what exactly is it that makes this movie tick? Is it its animation style? Yes. Is it the fact that it takes K-pop culture and infuses it into movie form? Also yes. Is it because of the highly marketable characters and the sheer potential in terms of cosplay and merchandise? Also yes. And is it also because of the adorable derpy cat? Most astoundingly, yes. All of these factors coalesce together to basically form the success that this movie has had. And honestly, it's lightning in a bottle. I feel that one of the most impressive aspects about this movie's impact is the fact that it's able to lure in K-pop diehards, while also drawing in the attention of people that may not be all too familiar with K-pop, such as myself. Like, I've always known about K-pop. I've always known that it has existed, but it is a music genre that I have never really been drawn to. And so, with this movie, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I can see the hype when it comes to K-pop. And I've listened to a couple of songs here and there, I'm like, I see. So this is what's been in the background all my life. And the fact the movie is able to do that is a testament to how good it is. That said though, I do feel that a big factor into people's enjoyment of this movie will definitely depend on whether they like K-pop or not. Because if you're not too into K-pop, then you might not see the bigger picture or see the big deal of why this movie is just making the rounds everywhere. But if you are a fan of animation, I feel that you will enjoy the movie regardless of your familiarity with that genre of music. And it's crazy too, because this movie, like I had said at the beginning of this video, has only been out for 2 months and some change, and cosplays have already been made for these characters. And merchandise is starting to roll out, and I believe that Funkos are coming out, which I'm not surprised at all. And again, with the theatrical release that came out, it's all a matter of marketing, it's all a matter of presentation, it's all a matter of the word of mouth of this movie. It's crazy. And again, it's only been 2 months and some change. Just let this movie sit for a couple of months more to see how it continues to increase in popularity. And with this movie's popularity, it's absolutely no surprise that Netflix wants to expand this into a franchise, with talks of an animated series, with 2 other movies to basically round this out into a trilogy of films, and also a live-action remake, though I believe that was debunked, if I'm not mistaken. But, whatever the case may be, the whole thing, the point of it all, is that Netflix is looking at this movie and being like, okay, we can definitely milk this for all that it's worth. But with all this talk of sequels, let's actually delve into that a bit, because I have some thoughts. Because this movie in and of itself has a pretty conclusive ending. I'm going to go into spoilers because this movie has been out long enough. So basically, at the end of the movie, the Hanmoon is sealed, and therefore the demons are not able to surface into the human world. And I feel like that is as conclusive as it gets, because I don't think that Sony was expecting this to blow up the way that it did. Oh, because that's another thing that I think I had not mentioned. So Sony did not have faith in this movie, So they just gave the distribution rights to Netflix so that they could be able to, put it on streaming rather than a theatrical release. But because of how this movie blew up, Sony basically shot themselves in the foot because they were just like, you know what? I think maybe we should have made this a theatrical release to begin with, because I feel like they underestimated the potential of the market for K-pop fans. But anyways, in terms of sequels, I see a few routes. One film I feel could see the story take place in the past, seeing the relationship between Rumi's mom and her dad. Because that's something that is left rather untouched in the film. We basically are given the context that she is the daughter of a human and a demon. So I'm like, that's something that I'd like to see. I feel like that's an interesting story that people would be down to watch. And I feel it would be pretty tragic, considering where things end up in the first movie. And then the other sequel, I feel, would definitely center around Rumi trying to bring Jinu back. Because I had forgotten that he basically transformed into her sword. So I'm like, okay, that is interesting. I feel like there's something there. But I do believe that we never got any confirmation on whether or not Rumi's dad was actually dead or not. So for all we know, he's alive out there. And maybe a sequel could focus on Rumi wanting to find out more about her, her demon side, her demon roots. And possibly, trying to find a way to get Jinu back. She figures that the only way that she can be able to do that is by conversing with another demon, aka her father. So I don't know. I feel like that would also be an interesting route to go in, but that's just me spitballing. Like, it's just like random thoughts popping in my head. But then on the flip side, I feel that another great idea for sequels would be to have each installment center on a different Huntrix girl. The first one is a Rumi story. A second and third one could be a Mira and Zoe story and delve into their characters. Because while we did get some interesting tidbits into their lives prior to joining Huntrix, basically just like a surface level description of who they are, how they ended up in the group, and so on and so forth, I feel like 2 movies focusing on each of them would be very interesting, because we could get more insight into their characters, into their thoughts, their feelings, and personal conflicts that may arise within them. In Mira's case, her being the outcast in her family, and then in Zoe's case, her being a people pleaser and her struggling with that because maybe she had struggles throughout her life in which she got, burned by other people that took advantage of her people-pleasing nature, So I don't know, and I feel like that would be a pretty cool concept where it's a trilogy where the protagonist of each installment is not solely Rumi, but it's each member of the Huntrix girls. I feel like that would add a healthy dose of variety, and then it would open the door for, more songs and more potential for world building and character development. I feel that it would be interesting. Because in terms of songs, they can be able to craft as many as they can up the wazoo, and I'm sure that they would be fantastic. But if the story is not as solid as the first movie, it will fail. But hey, if they have ideas that are being tossed around, you never know what they'll come up with. So it is going to be interesting, just like good old Palpatine in Phantom Menace. I would basically quote, "Ah, yes, young K-pop demon hunters, we shall watch your career with great interest." In short, the sky is the limit for K-pop demon hunters, if not more so. And it only goes up from here. I'm very interested to see where this franchise goes. But anyways, those are my thoughts on the movie. But I want to know what you think. Did you enjoy this film? What was your favorite scene? What was your favorite song? And what are you looking forward to seeing from the future of this franchise? Let me know in the comments below. But yes, until next time, this has been GamingOtakuGeek, signing out.